The Lord be with you.
And with your spirit.
A reading from the Holy Gospel according to John. Glory to you, Lord. Jesus went across the Sea of Galilee, and a large crowd followed him, because they saw the signs he was performing on the sick. Jesus went up onto the mountain, and there he sat down with his disciples. The Jewish feast of Passover was near. When Jesus raised his eyes and saw that a large crowd was coming to him, he said to Philip, "Where can we buy enough food for them to eat?" He said this to test him, because he himself knew what he was going to do. Philip answered him, 200 days' wages worth of food would not be enough for each of them to have a little. One of his disciples, Andrew, the brother of Simon Peter, said to him, "There is a boy here who has 5 barley loaves and 2 fish. But what good are these for so many?" Jesus said, "Have the people recline." Now there was a great deal of grass in that place, so the men reclined, about 5,000 in number. Then Jesus took the loaves, gave thanks, and distributed them to those who were reclining, and also as much of the fish as they wanted. When they had had their fill, he said to the disciples, "Gather the fragments left over, so that nothing will be wasted." So they collected them and filled 12 wicker baskets with fragments from the 5 barley loaves that had been more than they could eat. When the people saw the sign he had done, they said, "This is truly a prophet, the one who is to come into the world." Since Jesus knew that they were going to come and carry him off to make him king, he withdrew again to the mountain alone. The Gospel of the Lord.
Praise to you, Lord Jesus Christ.
Good morning. How was the parking? A nightmare again? Maybe we could acquire a little train like the ones from Disney. So you park in Publix and we'll bring you here to the parish.
In a trolley.
Yeah, trolley, right? That could be a good idea. So you just get there at 11:15 and come here. Yeah, I have a lot of ideas, but nobody follows me. Today, my dear family, the gospel for me is very, very special because it also involves a lot of specific formation for the entire life. When you come to the Sunday Mass, normally you're not going to be able to come to daily Mass. You need to work and kids and things like that, but well, you try to do the effort to come on Sundays. And Sunday becomes one of the specific readings and formation for the rest of your week. That is what you have. Maybe you'll have a little bit more of personal prayer in your house, some reading of Bible, but like being together as Christians, it only happens on Sundays for most of the people. So a reading like that one, it is very powerful because it presents something that is very useful, very practical for life. And it is to recognize 2 things in life. One, the possible. And the second, the impossible. And we are submitted to that in life. It is impossible for me to snap my finger and there you go, new hair, right? Check it out. No, I can't. It's impossible for me. What is possible for me? I can shine my head, or we have things that are possible, things that are impossible. And those 2 things, they have a purpose. The things that are possible, God is expecting for you to do your effort. So what can you do? You can try to be kind. You can try to smile a little bit more. Maybe you could try to read more of God, to have more knowledge of Him, because that's part of the life. Maybe you can train yourself to drive better. Maybe it could be for you to wake up early on Sunday to catch the parking. It's things that you can do. They are possible. There's things that are going to be impossible. Can you change the way you feel just by a snap? When there's something that you don't like, and that's it. I don't like you to hit me, and you can't change that. It's impossible. When I'm driving in the I-95 and people are doing crazy stuff, I get mad, and I'm not going to change that. I cannot be a Pharisee. Oh, how wonderful that they are driving bad, Lord. I love it. No, I cannot change the impossible. So what are the things that are impossible? They are related to God. To God to work those things. But with one condition, that we participate, allowing Him to do the impossible. And that is the message of the gospel today. So let's start to catch the elements. The first thing that happens in that gospel, it's something very interesting. And it is that God pays attention. That is the beginning of the gospel. The Lord is walking the mountains. He head to a place. He sees that there's 5,000 people. And He knows that they are hungry. God pays attention. Imagine if God was not paying attention. Hungry? Not my problem. I'm God. I'm not hungry ever. Instead of that, He's paying attention to that. And that is the first step to know it is wonderful. Paying attention to what kind of hunger. In that case, it was the stomach, right? But they were also following God because of the signs He was performing on the sick. So there's two healings in that people that are searching for the Lord. One, okay, to full stomach, nice. But they are also following the Lord to get the spiritual miracle of healing. You see, so in one little idea, that beginning of the gospel is presenting the desire of human beings, of human race, to go and search for God. In the words of St. Augustine, do you remember this phrase? He says, from God we come, to God we shall return, and the heart will be restless. Restless until we are back with Him. So what is the meaning of that? That there's a hunger inside each one of us that the world cannot answer. The world can try, but it doesn't make a difference. It is for you to pursue that first element. God paying attention that you're hungry, and you recognize that you need of Him. What comes next? It comes the famous test. Philip, how are we going to feed all these people? The Lord knew what He was going to do. So if you know what you're going to do, why are you asking Philip? Poor Philip. What's he going to do? They are in the middle of nowhere, and shopping malls, they don't exist. So you are asking him to go feed 5,000? So the poor Philip comes with the answer that most of us, because of being intelligent, we try to present to the Lord. So Philip tells, Lord, if we go and work for 200 days, with all the money that we will do in 200 days, we are not going to be able to feed the 5,000. What do you see there? That's the attitude of the humankind. So you are making numbers all the time. Do I have money in my bank? Can I have a car? Can I ride? Am I there? Are they going to help me? We're measuring all the time, measuring. Instead of that, God is just making fun. Because why is He testing him? Because God also has a very good sense of humor. I could say that Jesus is having a lot of fun waiting for Philip to say something, and the poor Philip making numbers, right? Now, in that Gospels comes instead the attitude that we need to maintain. Do you remember the Lord telling in another Gospel that unless you are like children, Catholics, exactly. If you are not like children, you will not enter the kingdom of heaven. So what is the next part of that gospel? Who is coming with 5 bread and 2 fish? Little boy. Philip, that it's a grown-up man and has seen God performing miracles, he's telling 200 days of work, not gonna make it. The little kid instead, that he has something that is a joke for 5,000. 5 bread. What is that gonna do? Nothing. That's nothing. But he comes and presents. And check the attitude. If you were that little kid, you are in the opening, and there's 5,000 hungry people, what do you do with your little bag with 5 bread? You hide it, right? Of course, because if you give to them, you hungry, all the people hungry, and you're a loser, right? For sharing. Instead of that, the kid has a specific trust. He's also following the Lord. And that little kid, in his innocence, he thinks he can make it. He can make it. So he's giving that. Andrew comes to the Lord. Hey, there is a little kid here with some bread and some fishes. Are you going to do something? The Lord receives the nothing, the misery. And then, thanks to the Lord that he's very bad with numbers. Have you seen how God multiplies? For God, 5 is not 5. It's 5,000. You see? He's not good with numbers. Sorry, Lord, but 5 is 5. For him, it's 5,000. Pronounces the blessing and the miracle happens. So what is the next element in our lives that we need to bring to the Lord? The little something. It is not just for you like, oh, Lord, your problem, do whatever you want, right? No, it is, Lord, I can't do it, but I'm here. I'm here. Do whatever you want with me, but give me what you need, you see? And the Lord, because of that trust, he's going to start working on you. Do we catch the powerful message of that gospel? Yes or no? Yes. Well, I will give you a final example and we will continue the mass. I consider that it's good in life we also share experiences, so we don't relate only that we read a gospel from 2,000 years ago and goodbye. But maybe most of you guys, you also have stories to share. And I have one of those with multiplication. You want to hear it? Yes. Okay. There we go. I'm from South America, from Colombia. And in my country, everybody's hungry. Not like here. There, they like to eat all day round. Okay? So, we are in a little house with maybe 20 people, and once a month we went to that house with all the things that we were able to collect during the month to give to the poor, okay? That it's outside from the capital of Colombia, Bogota. So we were in that little house and giving and giving and giving. It is a house on top of a little hill, not so big, so people were in front of the house making line. And it was an ocean of people. An ocean of people. The 5,000 of the gospel, I think maybe they were getting to those numbers. Okay? And we're in those windows just like, that person needs shoes. Shoes go. Food. There. We were. And the things, of course, to the point that there were only like 10 little bags left. And we just go to the window. And the ocean's still there, you see? So you get worried. Are you going to close the windows and see you later, alligator? And no more? So a friend of mine that he has actually been here giving concerts. He's a musician from Colombia, Felipe Gomez. We were working with him. He says, so why don't we ask the Lord to multiply? Right? Sounds crazy. I was not a priest in that time, but poor Ivan, I don't believe that. You have or you don't have. That's it, right? But we made the circle and he does the little prayer. Sweet Lord, it's your problem. Why don't you multiply the things? We were not finishing the prayer when an entire truck with a container was entering the farm, full of things donated by a rich man. It was coming, and we were not finishing the prayer. I opened the eyes and, that's not normal. Praise be to God, you see? So, why am I sharing that? Because miracles like that, they are still happening, my friends. We just need to be ready to call, to believe. Let us finish with this. The Lord says, ask and you shall receive. But ask with